Welcome to BDS Beans FFs. Disclaimer: this is a complete work of fan fiction. You can't hide from me, doll. I know where you are. I always do. He smirked and walked around your house slowly, clearly toying with your fear. You're hiding from your stalker, who somehow managed to get into your house silently, just like he always do. Footsteps could be heard slowly getting nearer as you tried your best to stay silent away from his sight. Where are you, doll? Hiding in your closet or behind bed? Maybe even behind door. Should know better than try and hide from me. I know this house better than you do. Besides, he chuckled, his tone turning more darker. It belongs to me. You're not allowed to hide, he growls in empty space. As he walks further, is my doll in there? He murmured, coming in front of closet where she was hiding. Her eyes widened, fear prickling in her system as she put hand on her mouth. You're in there, aren't you? Come on out. You're only making me more excited. She closed her eyes tightly as if it will save her. You're playing with hard to get. Now, doll, he drawled with a dark chuckle before opening the door to the closet. How cute, he husked to see her, and she gets. Her eyes fluttered open only to see him in front of her. There you are, doll. Took a while to find you. You do know how you love to hide from me, don't you? He muttered, kneeling to her level. Why are you here? Her voice trembles. Why am I here? He repeated her words in a mocking, condensing tone before he spoke once again. The question is, where else would I be? He gave her a creepy smile. You belong to me, doll. There's no way I shall let another man lay his filthy hands on you. I'm not a toy to play with, she hissed out. Do you just hiss at me? He let out an annoyed growl as he swiftly grabbed her wrist, holding them tightly above her head, and pulled her out as he caged her against closet. You're only my doll, my property, understood? You don't seem to understand it, so I'll grave in that in your mind one way or other. No, I'm not someone's property. Why can't you understand a simple fact? I'm a human, just like you. I have my own emotions and feelings. She almost sobs while pleading, and his eyes turned dark, scaring her to core. You're my precious doll. You don't need your own emotions and feelings. You just need to listen to what I say. Simple, right? She looked at him in utter disbelief. I'm also a human Jungkook with feelings. Oh, darling, you're my property. You're not like me. You're so much weaker, and that's what I have loved the most about you. You're a psycho. Do you know that? She shouted. Me? A psycho. Oh, doll, you won my heart. He chuckled before his tone turned serious, his smirk fading as his grip on her wrist tightened, to the point where it should probably leave a mark. But that doesn't matter, you are still mine, and that's all that matters. You belongs to me, got it, doll? Give me a single good reason to believe I belongs to you. She couraged herself to speak, blinking back tears, and he put his hand on her slightly swollen belly and smirk. Here you go, the reason, doll. He grins, and more tears roll down her cheeks. How did she forget she's carrying his baby as she sobs more? Why are you so obsessed with me? There are other girls too. He laughed like a maniac, and then his hand moved from her stomach to her waist as he pulled her closer. Oh, there are many girls, so many. They all blend into one another. But you, though, you're my favorite. Your cute little expressions, your sweet little voice, your little mannerism, it's all too adorable for me. I wanted you. I needed you. I own you, doll, he drawled as his tone took a possessive but dark note. My head was spinning with everything happened in the last hour, and her condition was not helping the situation at all. He noticed her pale face as his eyes slightly softened. Leave me alone. I can't, he sighs. Let's take you to bed. She shakes her head as no. I'm not going anywhere. You don't look fine, doll. He seems concerned as she stared at him, thinking what to do, and he creased her cheeks lightly. Don't think too much, doll. You'll hurt your pretty little head. Just let me handle everything. Just rest. Be a good girl, alright? He spoke with a gentle tone as his other hand was making some random circles on her back to soothe her nerves. One was not ready to give up as she blinks, attempt to open her eyes. There's no use trying to keep your eyes open, doll. You're so tired, I can tell. Just rest your pretty little head and close your eyes. His hand moved from her waist to her cheeks and gently started greasing her cheeks with his thumb, and she gives up by obeying his voice silently. Nor she was have energy to fight anymore while he smirked, satisfied. Good girl. Rest that pretty head of yours, I'll keep you safe, doll. You have my word, just rest. But she needs protection from none other than him. One prayed, what if she never talked with her colleague that day? What if he didn't make her pregnant after he saw her with her colleague? A pool of unshed tears stuck in her throat, remembering that horrible day of her life, which turns everything upside down in her life. Flashback 4 months ago. When in her house after a tiring day, not knowing her stalker was hiding behind shadow. Miss me, princess, he drawled huskily near her ear, a smirk on his lips, but a shiver ran down her spine. She was startled by the sudden voice as she turned, and her eyes widened. Fear rushed in her system when she saw him standing there and hastily took a few steps backwards to maintain a safe distance. What are you doing here? He chuckled as he took a step towards her and effortlessly pulled her towards him as he forced her to lean on his. What I'm doing? Why? Just coming to check in on my doll, of course. He grins, but then his eyes darkened and smiled vanish as he leaned closer to her ear. You didn't think I'd just let you get all cozy with another man, do you? My eyes widened as he gauged her in between wall, talking and smiling toward the man. Quite a generous doll, are not you? He let out a sinister chuckle. Do you forget that you're mine? He murmured as he leans his face in her nape, his nose teasing her skin, and her hands trembled, eyes widened, and a shiver ran down her spine. It's been months since he was stalking her, and she knew about it too, but now he was crossing limits. And she knew what he's talking about, and that was the basic reason she never talks with any man just because of her crazy psycho stalker who was crazily obsessed with her, but Habalak. You were acting so sad friendly with that man. I didn't like it at all. His voice was soft, but she better knew he was anything but calm. Never, especially in this matter. He was crazily possessive for her. Jungkook, she murmured softly, holding his shirt, her eyes closed. I was not. She forced herself to speak. You were not. It sure looked like it. You were laughing with him, acting all friendly. He growled, and she closed her eyes more tightly. It was just a colleague, and it was just a friendly gesture. Touch her skin lightly, making her feel cold shivers down her spine as she trembles in fear. A colleague. You sure he was not trying to fluff you? Suddenly lifted his head from her neck as he spoke again. His eyes narrowed as his grip on her waist tightened. I don't like the man touching my doll. She bit her lips. You know, I've got an idea how to keep you just to myself forever. He grins like a psycho, and she shudders, already knowing there's only creepy things in his mind. What? Her lips trembled while speaking. To make you pregnant, he smirks, and all colors left from her face. Her eyes widened in shock. No, that's not happening. Tears roll down her eyes, and he leans closer and snuggle in her nape and a pattern from her tear-stained cheeks to nape. You will always be mine when, and if I need to go to be very extent just to make you mine, I will do it. His hand went to her flat stomach. How pretty this palatable looks with my baby inside, he chuckles, and dread grows her body on his determination. She shivers as she tried to take a step away in horror while shaking her head as no. No, you can't, sobs. I don't want it, and you can't force me. Come on, baby. Don't talk like this now. No, no, please. Tears are dripping down her eyes continuously. I can't do what I want. I will have you, doll. You don't have any choice in this. You're going to become mine. With that, his crush starts. He When she tried to push him away from him, but nothing worked. She was trying continuously. He take her to shh, relax, and let me do. She shakes her head and asks, no, don't do this. He grabbed her wrist and caged them above her head. But you're supposed to be only mine, Wyan, and if carrying my child means it will tie you to me, then that's what's happening. I promise to love you till the rest of my life. He muttered before again as he easily overpowered her, forcing her. As she can't even move, and then, despite her efforts to deny and free herself, he didn't listen and she cried. Babe, he muttered happily as he wrapped his arms around her waist. She flinched, but didn't push him away, nor it will affect him anyways, so what's the point? Doll, you're growing so much. You look amazing like this. She was 20 months pregnant. She didn't respond. What could she possibly say, anyways? You know I can't wait to see your baby, he grins, and she closed her eyes, her hands clutching the shelf in her helplessness. Look at you, all mine. Her cheeks, carrying our child, her forehead. You're looking so beautiful, doll. A pool of tears stuck in her throat as she held herself to not cry. Let's go and sit. I'll make your favorite pasta for you. She just nods in response. He have made her life miserable with every possible way he can from last 3 months, but not anymore. One have made her mind she'll not accept this anymore. June was fast asleep, while one mind was racing with many things. She was just waiting for a perfect moment to execute her plan to escape. She looked towards Hancock, who was fast asleep, and then clocks indicating 12 at night. In the last 4 months, she had tried many times to escape, but never succeeded in front. In fact, 2 times he caught her and red-handed even before she got a chance. But second time he was so enraged and ended up without caring about her tears and sobs or pregnancy, while the other plans failed before she even executed them. But she had been planning for today for many days now, and she knew he will not get up anytime soon because she had mixed sleeping pills in his suit. She found those while cleaning a few weeks ago and immediately hid it. Her heart was racing so fast. He had made her life miserable in the last 4 months while she was not able to do anything. Jungkook had been stalking her for more than a year before the day her mystery started, but everything always happened to a distant. It was always hidden, but it changed 5 months ago when he started appearing and giving her threats to claim her, own her, and have her. We knew he's psycho, but he was beyond obsessed with her. He always says that he owns and will take her with him, terrified when tried to report to police station, but the next day, that guy, and she got a note from him. Don't try to be outsmart and me after all. I'm not in city or else I'll came to meet you by myself. But anyways, I'm glad you see real and psychotic side of me. Just a reminder, next time it could be worse than this. One still remembered her trembling self and terror that day, how she was not able to go outside for a few days afterwards. Wiping her eyes, she slightly greased her swollen bump and get the small bag and money she had in hide. The ticking of clock was audible in silence. Atmosphere was thick with heavy tension. She didn't know if she will make it out or escape from this hellhole today or not, but one thing she was sure, she will not bear his torment anymore. With slow, steady steps, she went towards the front door, which was locked, and after a few struggles, she finally opened it and breathed, escape her lips to feel fresh air. She's been caged for last few months that she was not even allowed to go outside and feel some fresh air. Tears stuck in her eyes, but encouraging herself, she started running and ran as fast as she can. Her leaves rustled under her feet. She took glances occasionally to back to assure her nerves. Her ears perked up when she heard someone else's footsteps. As well, her heart raced. No, it can't be Jungkook. She tried to reassure her, but it was middle of night. Nobody could be at this abandoned place in middle of jungle at this time. Her heart fastened in pace. Her feet twisted as she fell down, and a yelp of pain left her mouth. She touched her feet while other hand holding her slightly swollen bum protectively. Even though the innocent soul in her womb was forced, she still starts to have motherly attachment with him. Instead, she was getting depressed and blame everything to this baby. But later, when Jungkook took doctor and one saw tiny little souls in gynecologist ward, she have realized it might be her only reason to exist now. The baby have no fault in everything happening with her, and she promised herself she'll never blame him or her for anything, and slowly started attaching with it. From talking to him, showing her pain and misery and happy future, she imagined everything with him. One cried in pain, but taking a glance behind, she couraged herself to go up and start running again while in pain. After what felt like hours, she finally made it in the road, which means resident close could be nearby. And after a few minutes of struggle, she finally found someone to help her. But almost fallen on the floor when she reached near shop. It was near dawn time, and the cashier see her as he immediately ran outside. Ma'am, are you alright? Was dripping down her legs. Her eyes widened, fear stuck in her system. She held his jacket with trembling hands. Please help me. I was kidnapped, she managed to say, and thus then lost her consciousness. The only thing I knew is when she got up, she was in hospital and a few nurses was checking, who later called doctor who briefly examined her and assured her she is fine with her baby. When told him everything happened with her and soon after the police reached there to take her statement, she told them everything in detail. How she started getting creepy obsessive notes with threats and how she ended up pregnant, kidnapped, and how she finally escaped. Didn't run away from where he had kidnapped her, but she helped police to make his sketch, and even though she was still scared to be alone, police gave her protection. One didn't thought about it before, but her friends and parents were the most worried for her and even understand her. Her parents filed a missing report for her months ago when she vanished months ago. She lived in a different city to her parents, but till the time she was recovering, they never left her side. And just 3 days ago, police have finally found Jungkook and arrested him immediately. Apparently, he was completely fine psychologically, with no history in past, but his obsession and psychotic side said otherwise. Can you tell us what happened that day? One repeated the same words many times now, but as much as everything humiliated her first, she has slowly started living it. It was her truth, and she can't deny it anymore. One repeated the same words. He forced you. Why not? Holding back her tears. You were one let out a shaky sob. No matter what, hearing it aloud and from someone else hurts her even more. Yes, he did, she replied, looking straight towards in his eyes. Did you protest? Yes, I did. I said no, and then protest and push him away till last time. More tears rolled on her eyes, on her misery and helplessness. He wrote something, and after a few minutes, it was finally day of judgment and decision. Looking at all the evidence and victim, I declared Jungkook sentenced to prison for next 30 years and 20 million penalty, and his whole assessed also goes to one unborn child because he mentally and physically miswired. The case ended here. Tears dripped down from one's eyes as she sat in her knees, finally letting out a sigh of relief. She prayed what happened with her will never happen with anyone else. Chingster tried to come towards her afterwards as if he was going to, but police officer told him he was worst in name of human and she despised him more than anything else in her entire life. I'll come back for you, he roared. You can't escape from me like this one, he yelled while police officers were dragging him outside. This isn't signature, he roared. One mother holds her hand and rubs her back soothingly to give her some comfort. as she clung to her mother and burst into more tears. Why me? She sobs. What have I done wrong? Her mother was also crying as she rubs her back. You didn't do anything wrong, my love. Everything could be fine, don't worry. Her dad came as he also hugs her. I'm sorry, I was not able to protect you when she shakes her head. When you didn't knew it was probably my fate, he shakes his head. No, let's just say it was just a bad time. It will eventually pass now. Prepare yourself for your happy future. He gave her a faint smile to cheer her as she nods in response. 3 years later, Jiwon baby, slow down, love. Her tiny bean bag of happiness was running and she was following him behind in whole house. Stop down right now and eat your food. But he took another turn. One was so tired running behind him as she took fast steps and picked him. Got you, she cheered, and he started giggling when she spun him around. Jiwon is flying, mommy. One laughs, nodding. Yes, my baby is flying, she smiles. But you know, you need energy to fly, and that's why you need to eat food. She pouts, but Javen don't like eating. Does it mean he was not able to fly? She let out a dramatic sigh with same face, and the little kid frowns. Really, mom? She nods. I want to fly. Feed me food, please. I want energy to become big and fly. One smiles. Really? He nods cutely, and one awe on his cuteness. Let's sit, I'll feed you food. One smiled happily and start feeding him his meal. Why are you so cute, little one? His grandmother would pinching his cheeks, and he giggles. One also smiles softly. 3 years ago, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy who brings happiness and smile in her life, who was slowly healing her broken soul. It's been 3 years, and one was still sometimes got afraid for months around her. She started her job last year. Many guys approached her, but one was not ready to see or date anyone, or she probably will never let any other man in her life ever again. Her experience was bad, but she was slowly growing and recovering, and her son was also healing something in her that he didn't break. She had faced a lot of things in life that she stuck out everyone and everything from her life. She was even started getting depressed in last month of her pregnancy. But now she was opening up again for her son to get him better future and life, and he never failed to give her new reasons to love and cherish every moment. Thanks for watching, everyone.